Nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains, welcome to the University of Eastern Colorado.
Hello, and welcome to Level Tours. This is Gustav Muller with your long-anticipated University Grand Tour. We're calling this Grand Tour because it is an extensive review of every corner of this wonderful map. Perhaps the best map in Last of Us Factions, your favorite game and mine. So let's get going. If I can figure out how to, okay, here we go. Here's the big steps and the water fountain. We're going to go right past those for now, and we're going to start at the Courtyard. Here's the Ballard Research Center. Most people just call it the Courtyard, though I've heard the park or the garden as well. Cool thing about the Courtyard is that it's like a Last of Us level in microcosm. There's 3 lanes, there's a way across, there's stuff to hide in and around, there's an out back, there's an overhead sniping area. It's like a miniature study of a Last of Us level. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't like some sort of early test game area, but I have no way of proving that. Anyway, this is the entryway. I don't really have a name for that area. Here are the steps up to the last stand spot. Here's a great bomb to practice off the legs of the cable. And here's one more gorgeous shot of the Courtyard. But we're not just about staggeringly beautiful shots of the levels of The Last of Us here at Level Tours. We're also about our motto, helping you kill me since 2020. So let's talk about openings. What's the first thing you do when you start? If you're like 80% of players I see online, the first thing you do when you're here at the favored side of the university is run straight ahead, grab this health kit, and then head over to this box. You grab all the stuff. You can hold triangle to grab everything at once, and then maybe you craft something, or maybe you run over here to that top of that hallway and start shooting from there, or maybe you run in that window if you like to fight. If you're a sniper, maybe you go to the light side to hang out in the flower box, or maybe you do what the developers wanted. You grab this health kit and you come into the dark side flower box to fight. Well, what if instead you take a left turn here? Advantage number 1, you get to jump a box. Everyone likes to jump boxes. There's usually a health kit here on the chair. I'm demoing this a little later in the game, so I've already got some stuff and whatever, but you get the idea. You grab the health kit there, you come to this box, you get 1 box, you might get a throwable out of it. You can shoot people, always coming down that little path there. Great sniping spot right across to that little area. And you can mark people using your throwable if you get one out of those windows right there. The height's about the same as that fence. You can even mark over to the sniper spot. And if there's no one there, you can just continue right around, grab your second health kit, and get a pretty darn good flank out of it. So, just a thought for you. Let's continue with some more gorgeous shots. Just outside the courtyard at the north end of the map is the water fountain. This is dedicated to American baseballist Roland Ryan. The front of the water fountain seems like it's going to be a great place to have fights, but it really isn't. You're totally vulnerable to overhead, and only those humps provide cover. There's the water fountain box, and here's the water fountain bomb. You see how the arrow kind of disappears into the water fountain and sort of bounces out when I shoot it in there? That is just enough space to completely hide a bomb. Well, almost completely. You can just barely see it from this edge, but the good thing about that spot is there's enough space for 2 bombs in there. Now, is this cheating? I don't know. That's up to you. This has been here since day one. People have been leaving that bomb forever, and the other one in this level, the plywood bomb. It seems as if the developers intended for that to be an option for this box, but there's no way of knowing. I'm showing it to you so you know to look out for it. The water fountain isn't just the fountain. It's this whole area up here that's kind of called the Plaza, the water fountain plaza. And out in front of the water fountain are these sandbags. You can stand on the sandbags, and as you can see, you can shoot, pretty much all the way back to those AC units back there. And it's nice because being on these sandbags gives you a slight height advantage, which better sharpshooters than I can use to pop heads off over that window ledge. There's one even further back spot you can stand for essentially the same shot. I don't know if there's an advantage to this. Obviously, you'd want to be better at it than I am setting up that positioning, but I never do this. I do see people doing this, so there must be some reason that people do it. Maybe it's just fun to do the long shot. I'm going to trace the path of the bullet for you with the camera here. That's cool. I wonder what that would look like if I sped that up and added like a whooshing sound. Not going to get tired of that. As my grandpappy used to say, the sun shines bright on the University of Eastern Colorado, and always from right there. That's why we call this the light side, because the light's shining on it, and this the dark side, for there is no light upon't. Sun there, light there, dark there. Got it. All right, so let's start with the dark side flower box. Darkside Flower Box is one of the best vantage points in the map and perhaps the whole game. Besides the Darkside hallway there, you can see straight down to the plywood box we'll get to in a moment. You can see Big Red there. You can see the Universe statue and the calm down guy behind him. You can shoot all the way back to that hallway back there. The lower light side hallway window, everything below conventionally sized yellow there, and the light side flower box. You can, of course, fight down onto the big steps down here or past the arches to the upper half of the light side hallway, fight through the cracked wall, up to the sniper windows, into the water fountain, and all of the water fountain plaza and the sandbags and everything. Amazing vantage point. Therefore, 75% of your fights are going to be through this tiny slit of a window. You can shoot from either shoulder here. Highly recommend coming off the left shoulder here. As you see, you're well back in the box and protected. If you're coming off the right shoulder, you're up here and people can actually shoot you from the sandbags or that lower area. So if you're off your left shoulder, you'll be much safer here. And it's easier to see a molly coming, so you can jump. You can also shoot to the left side, the light side. Obviously, great sniping to that spot, but also to way back there and even to way further back. You can't snipe to the Greek window here, but you can have fights with the crow's nest and, of course, these sandbags.
These sandbags, by the way, are terrible cover. They're simply too low and the flower boxes are too high.
Here's the crow's nest. A wonderful vantage on 3/4 of the map up here. You can shoot to the light side box pretty much directly when people are picking it up to the plaza when people are coming off of that balcony fire escape. You can even shoot to the upper sniper windows up there. And don't just stay scoped in, kind of peek in and out. I see a lot of people do this where they come back up to reload. But just take your shot and then wait to reload and then take your next shot. Here's a great little vantage, although I warn you that there's a head height branch right there. One more thing, I see people always sniping from the front of this thing, but If you're up here, it's good because your name tag's hidden. So if they don't know where you are, great time to be up against the front of this. But once you're known, it might be a lot more advantageous to be at the back of the crow's nest where you can sort of take your shot and then fall right off in the direction you want to go. Last thing about this area is this funny bench here that I'm standing on right now. You can't walk up the front of this bench for some reason. I'm hitting X like crazy. You can try it out yourself sometime. It's really strange, but shoot, maybe the water fountain bomb is cheating. Anyway, when you're in the crow's nest, the very easiest place to get you is from right here. Super easy to take you off the crow's nest. So if your buddy's in the crow's nest, be back here. And, you know, get ready to aim up at those head height stripes. Oh, no. Oh, did I say head height stripes?
Head height stripes, we love you so, because you show us where to throw the bullets from our gun.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Apparently the band's not on strike anymore, so yay. Anyway, the stripes don't work perfectly on sloped surfaces, but they're usually pretty good. Gives you an idea of where people's heads are. Here's the health kit, and we can't forget about the hiding desk or the secret desk or the camping desk. But forget about the camping desk. We've got to talk about the A. Rodriguez sign. You can obviously read the name A. Rodriguez, but there's a famous American baseballist called A-Rod, A. Rodriguez, so it's impossible to find anything about him. But there's another name that you can basically make out, Colonel J.C. Hardy. So I searched that, and it led me to hmdb.org, the historical marker database, which led me to this page on Gulf Park College, which led me to this sign, the Gulf Park College sign. And all that is relevant because same sign. It's impossible to get it perfectly lined up by doing this. I think it's probably a different photograph, but it's the same exact text. You can really make it out at the bottom in the copyright date or in this block text where it says Southern Mississippi really boldly. Still don't believe me? Well, they even swiped the logo of the Long Beach Historical Society. They'll be hysterical. The other side is the same, and even worse than that, the Art Ryan sign is the same sign. I think I just got some artist in trouble. There's also some cool art on the wall here, including this little flyer for the Anime and Manga Convention, the Otaku Festival, Saturday, February 27th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., because 2 hours is all you can take. When you're sniping from this end of the hallway, it's important to notice that these bricks kind of cut into where you are standing. So if you're out here sniping, and I'm sniping with you there, well, I can also be shooting your knees or your shins right here. So if you're peeking around that upper spot, you got to step out and step back quite a ways. Here's the dark side hallway box. And the most important thing about this is that you can be sniped from up there somewhere up at those windows like that. That's so cool. And from up here at the sniper window, you can, of course, see fairly well through that little slot. You can, of course, cover the water fountain and the plaza up here, as well as the dark side flower box, too. But apparently, I just wanted to focus in on that. From this side of the left sniper window, you can't see him. But from the very corner, you do get a little peekaboo glance down that hallway as well. But from out here, of course, you have a much better view of it. But of course, you're vulnerable to getting shot from everywhere. So dangerous, but exciting place to snipe from. But you have alternatives. You can snipe from up here. You can fire through these bars, and they provide sort of a minimal cover and protection. Just sort of adds a little challenge. You can use that column and the A. Rodriguez sign to kind of provide better protection. Or here's another alternative option for you when sniping from those windows. You can stay in cover. You can come along back here. And then you can fire at those windows through this little gap in this bulletin board here. Just like so. And it's a much more difficult shot from the other side. As you can see, you can barely see anything there. I'm not saying people can't do it. They totally can. But they're pretty likely to hit some of this bulletin board chunks. Let's move on to the classroom. Strangely enough, for a map called the University, this is really the only classroom. There's a couple other kind of half classrooms and stuff, but this is really the only one that people call the classroom. So out here in the hallway, there's a cool sign pointing you to the restrooms and the copy room. Very important you know that. And if we take a look at the whiteboard, we can actually see what kind of class it is. And it's a Chemistry 101 class. NH4 there, OH is ammonium hydroxide, and they're learning about lone pairs and bonds and aqueous solutions and all that. Zooming on through the classroom, we can see the classroom bulletin board. There's some basic 3D tutorial classes, apartment for rent, a lost bike, the same flyer for the Otaku Festival, and Club Dread Reggae Night every Friday at 9. Naughty Dread, the Smoothies, Ganja Mind. Entry is free. Ladies get an extra free. I'm gonna get canceled so hard. Here's another gibberish sign. Here's Honor D, 1819 to 1918. I looked it all up. I couldn't figure any of that stuff out. Here's the tilted hallway or the slanted hallway. Underneath the classroom is the spare room or the spare classroom, or what do they call it? An adjunct room? Anyway. Here's the only dumpster that matters. Both dumpsters you can go up, but this one's a great hiding spot behind. And it's really fun if somebody's hiding behind there to drop a bomb on their head. From above. So just one more thing to look at near the classroom here, and that's the plywood box. We call it the plywood box because of all that plywood right there, and to remind us of the plywood bomb, which is another of these hidden secret bombs. This one obviously intended by the developers because of the plywood being there. They could easily have made it so that it just pushed bombs out, right? I don't know. It seems like to me. Anyway, the benefit of these kind of bombs is that they really affect the pace of a game. If people are rushing, then hidden trap bombs like this, especially the rookie bombs, are going to force the other team to slow down, especially doubles like that. And the reason is that people have habituated themselves to jumping at this box from up here and just like jumping straight onto the box. And if you do so and you hear the tick, there's no time to run around this corner. So to defeat the plywood bomb every single time, all you have to do is train yourself to run past it, just like this, and you'll make it past every time, and you won't die. Right behind the plywood bomb is the wayfinding sign, and I'll be honest, I was trying to do a gorgeous shot of the wayfinding sign here, but I got distracted by that leaf in the background there and seeing whether it would bounce off the triangle steps. It do. So here's the wayfinding sign: Shoemaker Hall, Scarron Hall, Cobb Stadium, and the Silly Library. Of course, all of those are out of bounds, I think, except the Silly Library, which appears to be the light side hallway. Looks like it anyway. Behind the wayfinding sign, you'll see 3 letters. Looks like NAI or N triangle I or something, but 3 letters like that on an American college campus are understood to be Greek letters or fraternity, so that's Nu Delta Iota. I looked it up. There is not a frat that's referencing. If it's a reference, I don't get it. But if that's the Greek letters, then underneath the Greek letters is the Greek window. So that's what we call this. It's got a pretty great vantage over the lower half of the map here. And you can see the Calm Down guy. That's where we're headed next. So this guy has probably more names than anybody else here. He's called the Calm Down guy because it kind of looks like he's going, calm down here. Now calm down here. Calm down. Everybody. Oh, calm down. But he's also called the Professor, the Dean, the Governor, 1,000,001 names for the Green Man. And here's a great hiding spot if somebody's flying a drone waist height across the quad at you. The only famous A. Vaccaro I could find was Andreas Vaccaro, 17th century Italian Renaissance painter. This is his famous painting, Nicolas Cage Beheaded a Dude. And it seldom gets much play, but the base of the statue is quite a lot of fun to have little short shoots outs and box outs around. The president, the emperor, the king, the copper statue, the rustic copper statue. Back here, there's a couple of sight lines on the lower dark side hallway window. And here's another great hiding spot if somebody is flying a drone waist height across the quad at you. But the reason I came up here is actually that it's a surprisingly quick way around. Like, say somebody's having a fight with you from down by the health kit over there. You can get up here, and sometimes, if it works out just right, this is a surprisingly quick way to get around and shift somebody. It's worked out a few times. Anyway, to the light side hallway. Hey, did you know that yobs are victims of consumerist society? Here is a terrible piece of cover, utterly atrocious. You can be shot by the third row back there, but you can't shoot back to them. It's just terrible. And here's a brilliant piece of cover. You can jump up or to the side of it and fight in and all around it. That filing case is very dependent on which side of the hallway you're coming from. Just like this bomb, if you're coming from the left, that's all wrong. But if you tuck in there, it'll tuck into the chair. And this hallway also has some cranially approximate swaths. Come on.
Cranially approximate swaths, cranially approximate swaths. We love you so you don't even know, bro.
Anyway, so that's the light side hallway. Here is the light side flower box. It is definitely inferior to the dark side flower box. From the front, you can basically only see the Greek window and maybe a little across, but it definitely pales in comparison. When you're shooting at the upper dark side hallway window, you can use this column to kind of protect your head, or you can use it to protect you from the lower dark side hallway window when you're shooting at the upper one. And if somebody's holding up in the light side flower box, best place to get at them is from down here. You can basically throw it anywhere up above the wall. If you can't see it on the wall, it'll hit them pretty much. And you want to walk until it explodes. Then you can go ahead and sprint towards them. But that sprinting, as soon as you throw it, will give it away. So yeah, that's how you get somebody out of the flower box. For that reason, I like to do my fighting from behind the light side flower box if I'm over here. You can see pretty much just as much of the level except for the Greek window from there. And from back this side, you can see all of the water fountain plaza, and you do get into fights with the fire escape up there pretty often. Here's the best bomb on the light side flower box. And that's it for the light side flower box, which brings us back around to the top of the map here at the courtyard where we began. We began in the courtyard, and then we took a look at Roland Ryan here in the water fountain. And the water fountain plaza with its sandbags, the dark side flower box. We took a look at the A. Rodriguez statue. And then we looked at Big Red and his friend, conventionally sized Yellow, took glances at them. Went into the dark side hallway. Didn't talk about the couch that I always forget to mention. You can shoot under it, by the way. That's that couch right there. We looked into the classroom, the chemistry classroom. We're going to end at the science center over there. But we also looked at the triangle steps and the Greek letters, the plywood box here, and the calm down guy, of course. The crow's nest, those steps on the right are the health kit steps, and those there are the box steps. That's the big steps in the back, or the main steps. And here's my favorite detail on this entire map. It's this tiny crack right here in the concrete. Because something magical happens if you line up that building in the background with this crack right here. I'd like to thank my friends Zero Serve and Mad Cyrus for their help in this demonstration. So let's say they're sniping from up there. And I have a launcher over here. Well, I line up that crack with the building in the back, and then I put the bottom of my sights on the top of that building. And it works every single time, as long as you line up that crack with that building and put your sights there. And let's go take a look at the science lab. This is, of course, the science lab. You can see the cracked window and the main entrance there above the bridge. Oh, Nicholas M. Serland's Science Center. Okay, well, let's take a look at the Science Center. I thought this sign said, okay, well, maybe this sign is the science lab. No, maybe this front building is the science lab and the whole thing is the science center, like with that building back there, I guess. Well, it kind of looks like it's all the same building. I'm not sure how one building can be a center and a lab, but anyway, here is the main atrium. It's got a giant tree that has poked in through a window. And here is the Hall of Heads. That's Grumpy, Droopy, and Wrinkles. Wrinkles is my favorite. You can read what it says, or rather you can read that you can't read what it says down below on these placards, but you can see the University of Eastern Colorado. And behind us here we have some elevator doors. I have to be honest with you, I did not realize until I started doing this tour that those elevator doors there meant that these were elevators here at one point, glass-covered elevator shafts that went all the way up. One fine-looking building. Up here is the last stand spot, and right behind the last stand spot, we can find a little bit of newspaper that says Yobs are the victims of the consumer society again. Very popular article to clip out for people. And we can do a quick swoop around. Those are the back steps. Here's a slightly better last stand spot over here. Note that this window is bulletproof, but this window, as you can see, well, you probably can't see anything. If I shoot the front here, you can see that the front is all messed up already. So yeah, I'll shoot the side, and yes, you can see right there. Okay, you can pretty much see the first one too. Anyway, so bulletproof glass, and you get the idea. Here you can shoot at people from there if you haven't spent all your bullets on bulletproof glass. And then as we walk across this room in a straight line, you can see what's wrong with my controller every few feet. Yeah, thanks, Sony. Things are $70. This is a great place to practice sniping. You can take headshots at the calm down guy over there. If this were a real apocalypse, that guy's head would be long since dusted. But one thing to note while you're sniping here or really anywhere is kind of think of your position as a sniper. Because you can be up here front and center sniping at that box and have a good fight with that, while everyone from the classroom and down below and everywhere can shoot at you. Or you can be right here and have the same exact fight, but nobody from the classroom and nobody from down below can shoot at you at all. So think about your positioning and where you're vulnerable when you are sniping. That's my last tip for you. This draws our public tour to a close. If I can make the stunt jump onto the tiny wall. Thanks again to Zero and Cyrus for their help with this private tour. And let's take a look at the public tour, and then I'll be back to wrap up right at the end. Hey, it's Gus. Welcome back. We're talking openings, and this is the expert opening from the unfavored side. I sprint to this desk, I jump it while letting go of sprint, and then start sprinting again as soon as I hit the ground, so that I have enough sprint to make it over that couch with a sprint jump. I collect my first box, and then I turn around, and I head to my second box, which is now behind me. I avoid my friends as they come up from the rookie route, and grab that health kit. Here I'm grabbing the second box, and now I'm able to craft a bomb and a molly. Sometimes it's 2 bombs and a molly. So I'm gonna leave the plywood bomb and continue on. Here I'm glancing towards the light side hallway box, and then now I'm gonna watch the big steps the most of the time here. I'm just kind of using my peripherals to look for motion. There I saw something, so I'm gonna go back and try and get a mark. Now that I know where he is, I'm going to set up so that my gun can watch using R3 that spot, and my eyes can watch the left side. And this is called hard scoping for the win. 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 We hard scoping. We hard scoping. All right, maybe that didn't quite work out, but it's okay because he thinks this is a gunfight. So by hitting the 2 boxes ahead of time, I was able to change the nature of that fight, which, make no mistake, Clowns is a better shot than I am and a more aggressive player than I am. But I'm going to use that aggression against him, and I'm going to use my craftables to slow him down. Here you'll notice I have 265 parts right now. And as the plywood bomb goes off, you can see I get 125 extra parts, so 390 parts. So that's the point of leaving the plywood bomb and other moneymaker bombs like that. Especially early in the game, you can actually see I'm thinking about switching classes here already less than 2 minutes into the game. Because I have enough parts to get a round of potatoes, which is usually what I like to do. Though usually I like to be at 500 or 600 before I switch. Here I try and get back into position to help my team. And my goal here isn't to get this guy down. I've already got a guy who will do that. So my goal is to get a bullet in him and a mark on him so that I can get as many parts out of that down as I can. Because he got 100 parts for downing that guy, and I got 90 parts for an assist, a mark, and a mark target down. Here, I really didn't need to jump in to get those shots off. I should have stayed in cover before doing that. Just kind of eager. And that takes me way too long to sight up, and I was a little hurt from my bomb earlier, so his headshot, frontier headshot there, manages to take me down. But my team is there to clean it up, and I just end up being a nice little piece of bait. Here I don't notice that this guy is healing me until I've watched it a million times on playback. So I apologize to that guy, but I didn't let him heal him. This might look like I'm rushing the spawns. I'm really not. I'm just kind of trying to keep track of the boxes. I'm defending the boxes rather than rushing the spawns. It's a more kind of legit way to play, I suppose. Here I put 1 shot in him and then make him think I'm going off to the left so that he backs up and I can take my shots and clean him up. That all looks super skillful, but don't worry, I'll do something stupid real soon. Here I should go out this left window, but I tried backing up and ducking and dodging, and I just didn't duck at the right time. But I try to be a good corpse. I'm going to stay active and moving, and that means it's going to take 4 bullets for this guy to steal his kill. He'll only get 2 bullets back for that, so he's down bullets anyway, and he'll have to go get them, which, of course, he will, because noobs love bloobs. Nope. So I stayed a part of that fight, and I know where somebody's going to be shortly. In this situation, I see a lot of people sprint right back to the fight when they spawn nearby. But don't sprint. You're coming in with the element of surprise. Even if you're missing every other shot, you're still behind them, and they don't know where you are. But I know that 3 or 4 of them are over there. No, 3 it seems, because one guy is sprinting from where he just spawned to come grab his bloobs. Because, like I said, noobs love bloobs.
Hell no.
So I'm going to kick him so that he makes sure he learns his lesson, and I'm going to run into further danger. There's 3 people after me, so there's only so much I can do here. But I get robbed there, and that is it for me. If you'll indulge me for just a second, I want to rewind just to take a look at kind of what happened there and what I could have done differently. So here, I take him out. I choose to kick him to death so that I'll be sure he's dead and that he remembers this one, trying to be an educator. Here, a tiny little amount of damage I take from a shorty blast, but with Fat One, I have time to heal myself fully. Now I have to take the first part of this fight. I'm going to try and put this column between myself and the other participants in this fight. His shorty sends my first shot well over his head. That somehow is not a headshot, and that somehow is not a headshot, and that's why I go down.
Could have improved my chances by going over these boxes to the left here.
I usually only highlight parts where it goes well, so I thought I'd highlight something where it didn't go all that well and why. Basically, I was fighting a whole team by myself is why. This gives me a chance to switch to my launcher, and that makes me happy. So here I'm going to go against the advice I just gave. I'm going to sprint into the action. That is because I'm far away from the fight, and I'm behind my own lines, so it doesn't really hurt us for us to have more action going on beyond our lines. Ideally, I wouldn't sprint in, but I thought I might be needed to help, so I tried to advance my position rather quickly. It is 12-8 now as I leave a second plywood bomb. I love leaving the same bomb in matches, especially if I'm catching the same guy with it. That's just hilarious to me. So, yeah, I leave the same bomb quite a lot. Here I'm going to throw the molly. You always throw a molly where the guy's going to be, and if he had gone the right way, he'd be on fire. But he doesn't, so we have to shoot him. Now I immediately start thinking about the next guy. There's one guy outstanding, right? So there he is. I get a potato in him and find an interesting angle to get the follow-up. Here, J-Thug comes in the window, and he aims up at me, but he doesn't have any ammo in his shorty because of that errant shorty shot from earlier. So just pointing out that these things actually have bearing. Random shorty shots come up as entire kills later in the game. But Rotella has a good angle on him from the other side. He probably also should have gone out the way he came back in to get his pickup and better cover. But there's the plywood bomb going off again. And here you can see I didn't heal up before I came and grabbed this box. Now I'm going to heal up. That way I get the health kit from the box. If you're more than 50% hurt, the box will give you a free health kit. And if not, it'll fill you back up with peaches, with cans of health. Here I'm sprinting again. I'm pretty sure that's just because I think the enemy is all far at the back end of the map. And I'm trying to close that distance before they have a chance to gain back some of their map. And I'm rewarded by this guy sneaking on the wrong side of that bulletin board. If he'd been behind it, I obviously couldn't have done that. I contribute to that, getting a marked target and an assist, another 90 parts for me. There's a guy missing up here. I see him planting a bomb, so I'm going to shoot a potato. It's a little close, so he only gets hurt from the end of that bomb. If I'd crouched there, I might have gotten that shot a little further, but I get jumped, and J-Thug gets absolutely robbed right there. Look how much life I have. I have just absolutely no life at all. That guy got... Sorry, dude. Here I do the same scam with the health kit, but it's totally unnecessary. I'm just putting myself in danger here for no reason. I'm going to get another health kit back right over in the classroom over here. There's another one down in the spare health kit, and there's another one on the way to the light side hallway, which is my destination. So it was probably dangerous and unnecessary for me to do that right there. But I'm going to streak back across the quad, obviously feeling confident in this game. Grabbing this health kit, like I said, is on my way as well. So it was pointless of me to do that health kit scam on that particular instance. Here I'm going to crouch down on the box for just about a second before I actually open it. That gives me a chance to move if somebody starts shooting at me if they've been camping. Anytime I think a box might be being camped, that's what I do. Crouch down, wait, then hit triangle. Now I'm pretty sure everyone is uphill of me, and I think this is roughly when I start looking at the score and realizing that we're totally running away with this game. So I think I eased off, backed off a little bit, or maybe I was going to helping my friend, I'm not sure. In any case, Clowns is back here. I'd have had the shots if my friend didn't get in the way, but he throws a bomb. And it was at that moment that Clowns realized he had done fucked up. Here, I think I'm feeling a little invincible, and I know that guy's got a pick to get over there, so I try and get over to stop the pick. But I don't. He manages to get the pick. He manages to just shoot me straight out, and he's got full body armor. I do get in a bullet. That's not when I meant to get a bullet and a mark. But it manages to pan off. I still get my assist points anyway. And we started talking about what you do at the beginning. Let's finish by talking about what you do at the end. This little time at the end when you're running your way out of the fight or the credits are coming up, what do you do at that time? For me, I like to practice my launcher shot. So I'm going to get out my launcher and try and get potatoes somewhere interesting. So that's going for the second window. This is over the cracked wall to that sniper corner. This is trying to get onto the box. This one's a little long. This one's also a little long. Anyway, you get the idea. Use the garbage time at the end of the game to practice your shots. I'd like to thank Yo Geez Bro, Rotella Gaming, and Tokyo Ghoul Fan 21 for being excellent teammates. And I'd like to thank Will Buddy 123, Redneck Bikers, J-Thug 5, and All Clowns Kick for being excellent opponents. We also saw these guys in the downtown tour a few weeks ago, if you'd like to see that. And another shout out to Mad Cyrus and Zero Serve for their help setting up that shot over there. And to you for watching. Is there anything we missed or skipped? Well, there's quite a few secrets to actually show you here at the university, so I hope you'll join us next time for the University Beyond the Walls tour. But for now, I'll leave you with one more beautiful shot of this wonderful level and say thanks for watching. Yada.